Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills, and today I'm just going to do a little rundown of some of the items that I recently found at the thrift shops and elsewhere, actually. So first off, I guess, is that I did visit the hardware store where I originally purchased a whole bunch of pint jars at a really good price before the shortage happened, and they have not had anything on their shelves for months now since then. And finally there's a glimmer there. They're certainly not doing the Canadian Tire skid loads of jars at all, but they did have a couple of cases on the shelves. They had a couple of cases of quart-sized jars, or liter size is what we have here in Canada, and they had about 6 cases of the tiny 125 mil, the really small ones that I think are pretty useless, although I have quite a number of them myself. So that is a beginning. I think they also had some lids, not many, some packages of lids, but they're all, and these were Bernardin product. They weren't the Golden Harvest, which is what this hardware store keeps on their shelves. I think it's mainly Canadian Tire that tends to market the Golden Harvest product. So I'll do a little video of what I found there so you can see that. Okay? Next off, I decided to double check on my Dollarama location that still had regular mouth lids, and yeah, they still had. They're probably the only store left in town that has anything at all. So I decided, excuse me, so I decided that, having waited all this time for somebody else to snap them up and nobody did, that I would purchase another 10 boxes, so I have them in stock. I have plenty of lids for next year, at least of the regular mouth. There's no way I'm going to fall short. But I still left over 32 boxes there, so if anyone finds that location, they'll still find some stock. I suspect that because this is the old packaging, and Dollarama tends to imprint their prices right on the packaging, that when the new product comes out, it'll be in the new packaging and there could be a price increase. So that's why I decided, well, get a few more while I can, because there was one young lady who told me, yes, that where she was, she was still able to find them for $1.50. And I haven't seen them for $1.50 in like forever. So, and it's quite, I wouldn't doubt that these would go from $2 to $2.50. And they sell for just about $4 anyplace else. So, all in all, it's an investment that as long as I'm alive, I will use them. So, and if not, my children can do whatever they want with them. So the next thing in line, I guess, would be thrift store purchases that I made this week. And one of them was this lovely gravy boat, and it doesn't exactly match my blue willow, but it's close enough. It's close enough that I'm probably the only one that would know the difference. So, quite happy with this. I think I paid $4, $4.50, and it is Booth's, and it's British Scenery is what it's called. So it's closer to the Blue Willow with the gold trim that I bought, except that this does not have the gold trim. So it's made by Booth's, which is the same one that makes the one with the gold trim. So nice addition to my China collection. And then next in line, which I thought was really awesome, was that I found 3 ball jars, pint jars, yes. They have ball written on them. I don't know if you can read that. And all 3 of them came with the white plastic lid, which is, so these are the wide mouth with the old style white plastic lid. And yes, I will probably wash and sanitize these, but they look like they're in really good shape. So, managed to get 3 of these for $4. So I suspect that as far as pricing is concerned, yeah, the jars are probably $1 a piece, and then an extra $1 for the lids, which is fine by me. Those lids are well worth the extra $1. So quite pleased with that purchase as well. Now the other thing is, when I there are things that I see there that I don't need, that maybe are of interest to other people, and I've taken a few photos of some of the things. There certainly was, I found another pasta machine. I know some of you out there are still looking for pasta machines. They're fairly common here, and I suspect that's because my people, the Italians, use them a lot, and perhaps they're coming out of estate homes, estates, where the older people have passed away and the younger generation just is not interested. I know my daughter, although she does bake, and she bakes her own bread, and she bakes pasta, she makes pasta herself, she likes to use the attachment to her KitchenAid. And I've tried that, and I don't like it. I prefer the manual pasta machine, believe it or not. I think it does a better job. And the noise doesn't drive me nuts, whereas the KitchenAid, the hum of that sound the whole time is just irritating to me. So, I mean, if that machine is running, I really don't like to be standing over it, and you have to do that with the pasta. You have to feed it in there. So, yeah, so I found another pasta machine, and it was $12.99, which is a great deal. It was a good solid one. And these days, this particular thrift shop tends to tape everything together. So they had taped the, they use packing tape, and they had taped the clamp and the other piece that you need to move the gears onto the unit, so none of it gets lost, which is good because you need those pieces. And yeah, so once again, as I said, I have 2 of these machines. Don't need them. So I have one that's quite old, and I have a newer model, which is virtually the same thing, except that the newer model will allow me to purchase a motor for it. And the motor is $100, so I'm just not prepared to spend that money just yet. So I'm quite comfortable manipulating it by hand for the time being, but in future I may want the motor. The other thing is, I did find more mason jars at the thrift store today when I purchased these guys. They had quite a number of the liter size jars. I think they had at least 15 or 20 of them, and in packs of 4. They were taped together in bundles of 4 with the packing tape, as I said, for $1.99, that's a good buy. So you're paying 50 cents per jar. You're not getting the lids and the rings, but I probably, the rings I might keep, the lids I certainly wouldn't. So, but that's just me. I think if the lids are in good shape and you're desperate for them, they certainly can be sterilized and used if necessary. I don't have that issue, so I would not keep any lids from jars that I get from the thrift store. So anyway, that is my video for today. And I will post some extra pictures of some of the items that I thought were interesting. Certainly my interests are different than other people's. I'm not terribly interested in looking at clothing, and I think some people, that's all that they go to the thrift shops for. But no, I have no interest in looking at the clothing, except in the past I've looked at leather garments in order to cut the leather and use it for something else. I looked at that recently, and the prices are just way too high now to do what I used to do. Like, I used to do a little bit of bookbinding for the fun of it. Not that I had any skill in that endeavor, but I did it for fun. And the leather I would get from the thrift shops. You know, I'd buy a leather skirt or a leather jacket, but these days are extremely expensive for that purpose. Okay, so that's my video for now. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.